What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have Vulpix96, who is going to be on, I believe they said, Rank Up Magic Gadgets, so that should be pretty interesting, versus Mad Hatter, who should be on Cat, from what I'm told. Personally, I'm a big fan of Cat, and Mad Hatter is a great player, so hopefully this will be a good match. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Here, it looks like Vulpix will win the rock, paper, scissors and get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Mind Control, Mermail, Bottomless, Tin Goldfish, and Kage. And on the other side, we see Max C, Sanctum, Moral Tech, Soul Charge, and Bottomless Trap Hole. And here, Vulpix will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Rank Up Magic Limited Barion's Force. I know that I've personally messed around with this card in the past. I believe it was a little bit past H.A.T format, actually. I used to play it in Heraldic Beast because you were able to get rid of the Xyz that came out in the set right after H.A.T format, basically, that had all the support. I think it was like World Superstars. You'd be able to rank up that Xyz into the giant red hand, which was pretty cool. But this card says target one rank 4 Xyz monster you control, special summon from your extra deck one number C monster that is one rank higher than that monster you control by using it as Xyz material. This special summon is treated as an Xyz summon, and Xyz material attached to that target also becomes attached to the new monster. So really cool card, and let's see how they choose to play out their turn. Here they are going to normal summon Mermail, and they say it's good, and add a copy of Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, not committing too early with the Kage here, and after that just setting a couple back row over to Mad Hatter, who gets a copy of Pot of Duality, and they are going to activate that, revealing Soul Charge, Sanctum, and Mermail, taking the copy of Mermail of their own here and putting the others back. And from here, they're going to normal summon that copy of Mermail using the effect and grabbing a copy of Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare of their own as well. So very interesting here. They're going to go and crash the Mermelios, which is going to work. And then after that, going to main phase 2, setting 4 back row over to Vulpix, who now gets a copy of Breakthrough Skill. From here, they're going to just set 1 and pass turn, and in the end phase, Mad Hatter is going to go for a copy of Beagle Tech. Beagle Tech will then trigger, and Mad Hatter is going to think here, and that is going to force out that copy of Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare that they knew Vulpix had. Here, Mad Hatter gets a copy of Ignition, which they're going to set and pass over to Vulpix, who gets a copy of Warning, back over to Mad Hatter, who gets another copy of Duality, activating that, revealing Fiendish Chain, and Ignition, taking that copy of Ignition here and putting the others back. And from here, let's see what they choose to do. They're going to activate Ignition, popping Vulpix's copy of Solemn Warning. Very good hit there, and setting a copy of Beagle Tech, so they are on 2 copies of Beagle Tech here. And after that, setting that other copy of Ignition over to Vulpix, who now gets another copy of Tin Goldfish. Will they make a push here? They're going to summon Tin Goldfish and chain Kage. They say it's good, and they're thinking here they are going to drop that Max C and Kage. Oh, they're thinking on the chain. Okay, so chaining to the Kage, they actually say it's good, and Mad Hatter is going to get a copy of Call of the Haunted here. After that, overlaying for a copy of 101 for a little bit of protection and a beater, and here Mad Hatter gets a copy of Card. Very good draw there as well. Going to battle phase and attacking in 421, and here it looks like in the end phase, Mad Hatter is going to activate Ignition, popping the copy of Beagle Tech and setting a copy of Moral Tech. Here Beagle Tech will be able to trigger, summoning itself back out and going to pop some back row, but Vulpix is going to chain that copy of Breakthrough Skill, so really keeping the Mad Hatter off of any sort of Beagle Tech and rank 5 plays. And here Mad Hatter will draw for turn, getting a copy of Mermail. Okay, let's see what they choose to do. Switching the Beagle Tech to defense, summoning Card, so taking it a little slow, but they kind of can sort of take it slow here. Obviously, they don't know that Vulpix has the Mind Control if they really wanted to push in, but also they are so up in advantage, why not get a bit more ahead in advantage, you know? And then setting that copy of Call of the Haunted, here Card D is going to trigger, and they are going to draw a copy of Dionea and Torrential, so very good getting that copy of Dionea. And here Vulpix gets another copy of Kage, and let's see what they choose to do now. They are going to take some time to think here. and normal summon the copy of Tin Goldfish and chain the Kage here. Mad Hatter is going to think, they are going to say it's good, and here they are going to overlay for a copy of Dweller. Okay. Very interesting. They say, oh, no, it looks like Bottomless is going to be chained to the summon of Dweller. Dweller's going to be chained here just as a precautionary measure. And let's see, after that, rank up magic, limited Barion's Force is going to be activated here, and even Mad Hatter has to read it, going into this copy of number C101 Silent Honor Dark. I love this card, even in current meta right now. This is actually seeing some play with Vanquish Soul and soon to be Canine and stuff, as well as with the spell cards that use the C numbers and stuff. And so this card says once per turn, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls, attach it to this card as material. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard while it has material, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, then gain life points equal to the original attack of this card. Number 101 Silent Honor Arc must be in your graveyard to activate and resolve this effect. If this card is special summoned this way, it cannot attack for the rest of this turn. So really cool card, and very hard to out in a lot of cases too. Like fully out here, going to battle phase and just running over that Beagle Tech. Here, Mad Hatter is going to activate that Call of the Haunted to bring back the copy of Beagle Tech, which is going to work, and then Beagle Tech's going to trigger, and Vulpix is thinking they are going to chain that copy of Breakthrough Skill, so really keeping Mad Hatter off of Beagle Tech being able to trigger. Here they get a copy of Moral Tech. They're going to normal summon Dianea. Dianea triggers, bringing back Mermail. Mermail is going to pop the Bottomless, and it looks like Mad Hatter is going to make a copy of 101, and here it looks like, let me just double check that, let me see. Once per turn, target one special summon monster your opponent controls, attach it as material. I don't believe this is a quick effect. Oh, I think they're just detaching to get the material off because of the 101 taking it. And then after that, Mad Hatter switching the Beagle Tech to defense and going Soul Charge for 3. Okay, so we, given they went for Max C, they're probably going to go for a Pleiades to bounce the Max C to have that as follow-up as well. And here, Dianea is going to activate on a new chain after the Soul Charge activates, resetting the copy of Bottomless, and then overlaying the Beagle Techs into a copy of Pleiades, and actually going and bouncing the copy of Call of the Haunted, which honestly makes sense because they can just chain this on the opponent's turn and get the copy of Maxi. They have so much stuff. They still have the Bottomless, the Trapple Nightmare, if need be, and they'll have the Call of the Haunted, so they can easily bring back the copy of Beagle Tech, even if this board somehow gets cleared here with like a Dark Hole or something, over to Vulpix, who gets a copy of the Rank Up. And here it looks like Pleiades is going to bounce that copy of Max C. And yeah, Vulpix just has to scoop it up there. It's really cool to see the rank up stuff, but into that board, it was kind of a brick there for the draw. But here they will get to start this one out again. Opening hands, we see Call of the Haunted, Forbidden Lance, Breakthrough Skill, Mermail, and Trapple Nightmare. And on the other side, we see Warning, Breakthrough Skill, Traptrix Mermail, my apologies, Soul Charge, and Torrential. And here Vulpix will draw for turn, getting another copy of Call of the Haunted, which actually isn't terrible, given if this Mermail goes to graveyard, for example, getting destroyed, if they crash it in, they can Call the Haunted and pop back row, and at bare minimum, maybe force out the Warning or something, so that's definitely not even terrible. Here's summoning the copy of Mermail, adding the copy of Bottomless, and we'll see a lot of sets here, which it looks like they're going to set 4 over to Mad Hatter, who gets a Trapple Nightmare of their own. They are going to basically same thing, summon the copy of Mermail, but this time adding the copy of Bottomless, going to battle phase, crashing in like they did last time, and then setting a bunch of back row. Will we see the Call of the Haunted? We will. So as mentioned here, going and summoning Mermail. Mermail is going to pop a back row, hitting the copy of Breakthrough Skill, and here Vulpix will get a copy of Yellow Gadget. Actually, now that I think about it, did we see any gadgets last game? No, we did not. And so it's kind of funny seeing that now. And here the Yellow Gadget is going to be summoned. Mad Hatter allows it, and a copy of Green Gadget is added to hand. From here, just going to battle phase and trying to poke in for some damage, and that is going to work. From here, going to main phase 2, overlaying into a copy of King of the Feral Imps, trying to get the Kage here, and it looks like Mad Hatter is going to activate the copy of Bottomless, but Vulpix does have that copy of Lance, and Torrential Torrential is going to be chained to that. So unfortunately, the King of the Feral Imps will not be able to add a copy of Kage Kage here. And so Vulpix will just set the other copy of Call of the Haunted and pass it over. Mad Hatter gets a Duality. Duality is activated, revealing a Call of the Haunted, Firehand, and Mermail. Okay, adding the copy of Firehand, which is pretty decent, though Vulpix will have access to a rank 4, but at the same time, Mad Hatter does have the copy of Solemn Warning. So let's see how they choose to go about their turn here. Just setting the copy of Firehand, Vulpix draws a copy of Mermail for turn here, and Call the Haunted's activated, and they are going to have to warning that, because if not, this Mermail could potentially be summoned back, which could hit one of the other things, and the Trap Hole Nightmare won't be able to negate it because the Mermail is unaffected by a whole normal trap cards. Here, Mermail is going to be summoned, and they say it's good. Getting a copy of Void Trapple. Okay, so we don't really see this as often, but still a very good card. It says when your opponent special summons a monsters with 2,000 or more attack, negate the effects of one of those monsters with 2,000 or more attack, and if you do, destroy it. So getting that, setting it, and passing it over to Mad Hatter, who gets a copy of Beagle Tack. From here, they are going to go for a Soul Charge, and go for Mermail, just one, being able to then use the effect and pop a card, and they're going to hit the Breakthrough skill, which will just be chained to that, and after that, Mad Hatter can flip up the copy of Firehand, potentially going for maybe like an Exciton or something like that, because it would play around the Void Trap Hole that they knew, though I forget if they knew about the Trap Hole Nightmare, or did they add the Bottomless. I don't entirely remember there, but here flipping up the copy of Firehand, so maybe they didn't know. I'm not entirely sure there. I don't exactly remember in that situation. And here it looks like the copy of Beagle Tack is going to be Tribute Set. So just walling up a little, here Vulpix gets the copy of the Rank Up Magic. And here we'll see the green gadget summoned using the effect and adding a copy of red gadget. From here, they probably assume it's going to be that Beagle Tack, going for a copy of 101 just to check it out, potentially, or unless they maybe thought they had some other spicy tech of a tribute summon, or even just maybe bluffing it. But here, running into that Beagle Tack over to Mad Hatter, who now gets a copy of Sanctum, which is decent, but again, that Void Trap Hole is there. Back over to Vulpix, who is going to get a copy of Fiendish Chain. From here, activating the rank up, going into the C101, and going to battle phase and running over that copy of Moral Tack. After that, main phase 2, summoning red gadget, add yellow gadget. And here, setting a back row, end of main phase, it looks like Mad Hatter is going to activate the Sanctum, going for a copy of Moral Tack, and Vulpix does have that copy of Void Trap Hole, but I believe they also, have a copy of Breakthrough Skill, but choosing to use the Void Trap Hole while they can, and that is going to negate and destroy the Moral Attack. Here, Mad Hatter gets a copy of Ignition, which isn't too great here, unfortunately. They're just going to go and hit the Trap Hole Nightmare and then scoop it up. So we are moving into a game number 3. This time, Mad Hatter will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Red Gadget, Dark Hole, Rank Up Magic, Limited Variance Force, Mind Control, and Lance. And on the other side, we see Trap Hole Nightmare, Beagle Tack, double Beagle Tack, actually. That's very unfortunate for them here. Torrential and Ignition. Very impressive to see Torrential all these games, pretty much as it is a one-of in H.A.T format. From here, though, they will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Max C, so not terrible, and they are just going to set 5 back row over to Vulpix, who gets another copy of the rank up. So both are on a little bit slower hands. Here, the red gadget can get a copy of yellow gadget. Well, I guess at the same time, Vulpix does have kind of this line of just keep getting gadgets, which can keep applying pressure, going to battle phase and attacking in, but here Ignition is going to activate, popping that copy of Beagle Tack and setting a copy of Moral Tack. Beagle Tack can then trigger to summon out the Beagle Tack, or summon itself, I should say, and then here the Beagle Tack is going to pop 2. And so the Moral Tack and the other Beagle Tack will be summoned here. And from there, just in case the Beagle Tack popping sets is a hard once per turn, so while they can summon the other, they don't have to trigger this here. And the Moral Tack is going to pop the copy of Red Gadget, which is a little unfortunate, but at the same time, Vulpix does have that Dark Hole, so they can clear this up very easily, which is exactly what they do. Over to Mad Hatter, who gets a copy of Dionea, which they are just going to summon and go in for some damage here. And here it looks like Vulpix is going to get a copy of Mermail, and they do have mind control, so it's not looking great for Mad Hatter. And here Mermail is going to be summoned, getting that copy of Bottomless. And will we see the mind control? We will. So here the Dianea is taken, and maybe, oh, Maxie's going to be dropped right on the resolution of that mind control, so they will get at least a draw here, going for 101. And here Mad Hatter gets a Call the Haunted, which, what was their sets again? Torrential and the copy of Triple Nightmare. So while they won't have like this like crazy with the Beagle attacks, they will at least have some form of disruption with the Moral attack, though depending on how Vulpix plays out their turn, there is going to be this rank up as well as Bottomless and Lance, so it really isn't looking good for Mad Hatter here. And so 101 is going to attack in main phase 2. It looks like they're just going to set 2 and pass over to Mad Hatter, who gets a copy of Fiendish Chain, so that's not terrible. Setting 2 back over to Vulpix, who gets a copy of Soul Charge, and then goes straight to battle phase. Here Fiendish Chain is activated on the 101 main phase 2. Yellow Gadget is summoned, activating the effect and getting a copy of Green Gadget. After that, activating that rank up on the 101, and Mad Hatter says it's good, going for the C101. And passing it over, here Mad Hatter gets a copy of Breakthrough Skill, so unfortunately not really seeing any monsters here, and Vulpix gets a Fiendish Chain of their own. Here just going straight to battle phase and attacking in. Call the Haunted is going to be activated, bringing back the copy of Moral Attack. Moral Attack can then trigger to pop the C101. C101 will trigger again this card when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. While it has material, you can special summon this card from your graveyard and then gain life points equal to the original attack it had. And then it won't be able to attack for the rest of the turn. So here, Vulpix gains a lot of attack. Main phase 2, using the C101's other effect that you can target a special summon monster your opponent controls, attach it to this card's material, but they do have that copy of Triple Nightmare, and here Lance is going to be chained. Will we see the breakthrough skill here? They are going to chain the breakthrough skill, so here everything will kind of resolve. And then Vulpix summons the copy of Green Gadget, uses the effect getting the Red Gadget, and they are kind of ahead here because the only other back row is that Torrential, actually. So depending on what Vulpix goes into, that could be interesting. Here going for the copy of Rhapsody and Berserk. Will we see the Torrential here? Because now, oh, but this is unaffected because of the Lance. Wait, oh, but it had its effects negated and then it became unaffected. Okay, so interesting. So actually holding the Torrential makes a little bit of sense depending. I guess Mad Hatter is pretty far behind, but even if they Torrential, this will kind of stick around. So here after that, going for the rank up on the copy of Rhapsody. Okay, I guess I wasn't expecting that because we haven't seen anything other than the C101. Going for number C80, Requiem in Berserk. This card says you can target one face-up Xyz monster you control, equip this monster you control to that target. It gains 2,000 attack. If a monster equipped with this card would be destroyed, destroy this card instead. If this card has number 80, Rhapsody and Berserk, as an Xyz material, it gains this effect. You can detach an Xyz material from this card, target one card on the field, banish that target. So kind of a cool card here. And they're reading it and they are allowing it here. And here it's going to activate the effect to banish a card, banishing that copy of Moral Attack, and then using the, or wait, what actually just happened there? They banished one, and then this is, oh, I think they're using the equip effect, yeah. So here, or actually, is it just not once per turn? If this card has, oh, it's not. Okay, you can just, it gains the effect. So they're actually using it to just pop a bunch of cards and then using it to equip here. Kind of neat here. And so now this thing is really, really big, backed up with the Fiendish Chain and Bottomless. This might just be the end. Here Sanctum's drawn though, so that's at least something. Vulpix gets a copy of Kagado Kage, and yeah, Vulpix is going to take that one. Really cool to see this number C80 Requiem in Berserk. I actually haven't seen this card summoned before, so I had to like kind of take a couple checks and read that because that is a very neat card. You guys will definitely have to let me know what you think of this match in the comment section down below. I feel a little bad for Mad Hatter. I know that I think a while back they had commented how they how usually I'm showing off their losses, and unfortunately this is another one. It's nothing personal against them. It's just people when they send in replays. For example, this person sent in this replay, it was against them, and then a lot of times they also just play against really cool decks that I want to show off. But again, it's really nothing personal against them, and I'm pretty sure I've shown off a few of their wins as well. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays, whether you won or lost. If you thought the deck you or your opponent was playing was pretty cool, feel free to send those in. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see them. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.